I'm going to put this Smart HJC 21B into this RPHA 91 modular helmet. All right, as I said in the intro, I'm going to take the Smart HG 21B and install it into my new RPHA 91 modular helmet. So I've already cut the seal, but this is the first time opening the box. Let's see what all comes in here. This is as it's packaged from the factory. So here's the headset pieces. I'm going to pull them out of the foam. So the kit comes with the battery that mounts in the back of the helmet. So it's a pretty large battery, the main control piece, and 2 helmet speakers. As you can see, compared to other Sena headsets, though, is it doesn't have connectors. These are all right-sized and designed to fit in HJC helmets. This is comparable to the HJC 10C, which I've had on previous helmets. The reason I purchased this one, as opposed to some other that are out on the market, is with this large battery, it has a usage time of 22 hours. So even for long rides, I won't have to stop and recharge the unit, which is a good thing because you can't remove this from the helmet to charge it. So you have to charge it in the helmet. All right, let's go further on into the box and see what else we have. All right, inside here are all of the pieces for the boom microphone and the mouthpiece, as well as a microphone that would be used for a standard full face helmet, screws and an Allen wrench, and a USB charging cable. This is USB-C, so the charging is done through the battery port in the back through a USB-C. This rubber plug appears to be at least water resistant, if not fully waterproof. Last inside are the manuals that instruct you how to install it and how to use it. So to start with, the instructions say on a modular chin bar helmet, open the modular helmet. Next, we open the cover on this helmet. It is on the left-hand side, so your left hand will function the unit. So as you saw in the video, this comes right off. All right, so that's the first step. The second step is to remove the cover that covers the hole where the battery will go when we're that far along. So I'm going to go ahead and remove 2 screws that will allow me to open this area up. There's a rubber edge all the way around that you're going to have to push out of the way to allow this piece to come out. And there goes 1 screw, and there's the other screw. All right, so we've completed step 1 and step 2. Now step 3, let's remove the helmet's cheek pads. Now on the RPHA 91, you actually have to remove the curtain around the bottom before you can get the cheek pads out. So I'm going to remove the snaps that hold that in place, and then the rest of it just pulls right out. So there's a hook towards the front that hooks into a spot on that side, and there's a hook on the other that goes on this side, and then there are hooks that go into the back. This all needs to be removed in order to give you space to run the wiring. Okay, next we're going to remove the cheek pads, and as the diagram shows, they just pull out. It's probably easier getting them out than it will be getting them back in again. As I showed in the previous video, I use a metal quick release, so I have to snake that out through the cheek pad on this side to remove the cheek pad fully. So there's the right-hand side, and then the same with the left. All right, so there's the left-hand side. Next, we're going to do the button module installation. So on this side, there is You should be able to see it pretty well. Little channel there for the routing of wiring. So to start with, put this in place. This is the button module they talk about. And all right, so that is lined up and in place. The next step is to place the battery. So again, when we removed it, I had to move this plastic or this soft rubber piece out of the way. So again, we're going to have to move that out of the way to get this to seat properly. We're not worried about wire routing just yet. We'll do wire routing when the time comes. So for now, we're just making sure the wire isn't caught anywhere, isn't in the way, and isn't being pinched. Mounts in here, and we have to move the rubber out of the way to allow it to sit flush. There we are. Next step is to install 2 screws to hold that in place. It does come with 2 screws, but the 2 screws that it comes with are the same screws that you removed. So in this case, they gave you spare parts that, in my case, I'm not going to use the ones out of the bag. I'm going to reuse those that came with the helmet in the first place. There we have it. That's the up through step 5. Here we are in step 6. Step 6 is the microphone installation. So let's go ahead and pull the microphone out of the bag. One thing I noticed is it is not symmetrical in the orientation of these tabs or in the shape of these tabs. So these tabs here are longer than the tabs on that side, and tabs are closer this way than closer that way. So they're not in the middle of the body. Looking at the helmet, it's pretty clear why. If we look down in here, you can see there's a notch in which this goes. It goes in such that the asymmetrical or the deeper part of the microphone body goes deeper in, and the longer tabs go in first on the bottom. So if I place them here and rotate them in place, then the whole thing should just snap in place. Easier said than done. First, the front one went in. The rear one's giving me some hassle. All right, I'm going to go off camera, press that in the rest of the way. All right, so off camera, what I did is I went and I grabbed a small screwdriver, and then I was able to just press it in. I just moved the plastic of the helmet out a little bit so that the tab would drop in. Next, you'll see there are channels on either side for the wire routing. I've left in place the ear pads that cover where the microphone or where the speakers go. These just pull out. They're held in place by a tab on either side, and they just pull out. So we'll move those out of the way, which will allow us to do the rest of our wire routing. So on the microphone, we'll put the wire into this channel, and then the wire will run behind the speaker. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in so that it's not dangling around and I don't lose it. There's a pointed end and a little notch. They just go together pretty easy. We'll route that back behind the speaker, like I said, and then we'll start with the bottom, put the tab in, and then press until the helmet speaker sits in place just like that. All right, so that's that side. Let's go over to the left-hand side. Again, I left the speaker hole cover, the pad, and these, again, just pull right out. Just like on the right-hand side, this speaker has a larger tab and a smaller tab that lock it in place. The larger tab is offset, so that will go in first. That's towards the rear of the helmet. And you place that in, and it locks in place. And on this one as well, we're going to go ahead and carefully route the wire in the channel. All right, the next step is to install the skirt. So to start with, I'm going to start in the rear. This tab goes in. There's a post that it goes in front of the battery. I'm going to route the wiring through this little gap between them. Press this in until it goes in place. All right, now working my way around, there's another notch that goes onto a post in the side, and continuing my way around to the front. On the front, we're going to have to twist it and relieve the tension in order to get it up in place. So we're going to push the curtain all the way up underneath the rubber lip, because remember, this is what helps give us such a quiet helmet. All right, over on the other side, there's one thing to be careful of. If you look, there's a notch in this that has to go around the wiring that comes out of the controller, out of the button. In my opinion, this probably should be deeper, but I think I can route the wire up into the gap between the foam liner and the outer shell. That should take care of it. So being very careful not to pinch the wire. Just like the other side, there's a post here, and then in the front, buckle it and put it up underneath the hook that's towards the front. Again, we push that in. And there we have it. There's the curtain in place. All right, next we're going to install the cheek pads. We'll start with the left-hand cheek pad. So to remember the orientation, this is the front. This is where the strap comes through. This is the opening for the ear. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and route the strap through. On the back of the cheek pads, and I'll show you on the other cheek pad, there are 3 snaps that go up against the inside of the helmet, and then 1 snap for the skirt or for the curtain. So to line them up takes a little bit of effort, but then you press. There's 1, just right here. It's a blind installation, so be patient. And then the last one is on the top. There we are. All right, on the right-hand side, you would think that this would be extremely difficult because we have this microphone boom sticking out, but it's surprisingly easy. The microphone boom will just go along this part of the pad. So there you have it. There's the installation. One last step is to put the wind guard over the microphone. So if you do use this in a windy environment or the helmet is open, you get some damping of the wind, and it just stretches and goes over. So in this case, there we have it. So that concludes my video on how to install the Smart HJC 21B into a RPHA 91 modular helmet. Pretty straightforward. Now I have controls on the left-hand side, a big battery with 22 hours worth of usage. Really looking forward to using it. I'll give you some feedback later on how it all works out. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Thumbs up this video if you like it. And as always, thanks for watching. Go far with Brent.